This whole case is getting fishier and fishier each and every day. And of course, we get a new selfie, or I guess a photo op, posted to the internet last night for Carmelo's many financial supporters from his pastor buddy. I already revealed, or will reveal in a later video today. Maybe you haven't seen it. I have two videos on this today. That he didn't even have to pay for his own bail. Someone else paid for it. And the absurd plans that his family actually has for the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've raised. Shockingly, it's for moving on up. It's not for his legal defense. This whole case is wild. The judge who ran as a conservative is getting absolutely lambasted for lowering his bail. Again, I understand 1,000% why people are upset about that. He was going to make his bail, whether it was $100,000 or $25,000. They already had nearly $500,000 raised. Let's start with perhaps the most infuriating thing: this absurd picture that Minister Dominique Alexander shared, and some of the replies to that, as well as we'll talk about the judge and a couple other things with this case. So make sure you leave a like on this video if you haven't yet, if you're enjoying the coverage or appreciate the coverage. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. Huge shout out to this channel sponsor, Meta PCs. Promo code The Quartering. If you're looking to upgrade your computer, you want to get get that new NVIDIA 50 series card before any potential tariffs. MetaPCs.com. Promo code The Quartering. Link in the description. And also the Mother's Day gift box. We are now up to 81 reviews. I'm hoping by the end of tomorrow we can get up to 100 reviews. I'll leave a link to it. Mother's Day is now 30 days away, but I'm looking for a couple hundred absolute Chads or Stacy's to pick this up early and help me get a bunch of reviews on here, so people coming around that last week before Mother's Day can actually feel confident in buying and seeing all these reviews. So thank you so much, especially everyone that's doing video reviews too. Very, very thankful for you and your support. Link in the description. Karmelo Anthony is safe at home. Well, thank God. The moment is a reminder that the community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice. The same day, I believe or just days after Austin Metcalf was buried, justice for family and the power of people coming together to protect our youth. This kid took the life of another youth. No one was there to protect him. In fact, Karmelo Anthony has raised far more money than the family of Austin Metcalf. Thank you, everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight, Karmelo is home. And here he is wearing a suit, smiling for a photo with his pastor. Now, it looks like he's touching him there. Hopefully, there's not a knife around, because obviously that will cost him dearly. And this gets 6,000 likes, which is pretty embarrassing. But it also got ruthlessly ratioed, which I love to see. Some of the replies. This got 6,000 likes. Let's see. This got 11,000 likes from a guy named The Quartering. Yikes, you look like you're touching him. Hope there isn't a knife nearby. Here's Donut Operator. This Alexander was first arrested in July 2009 for causing serious bodily harm to a kid. Police reported he'd been babysitting his girlfriend's 2-year-old for the evening when he called her at 11 p.m. and told her to get home now, but he didn't tell her why. When she arrived, she found her kid unresponsive. Alexander told his girlfriend that he'd been watching a movie with her son on the couch, paused the movie, police reported, as he walked into the computer room, heard the sound of her son, who was asleep on the couch, fall off the couch onto the carpet. That would not have caused that. What actually happened is the doctor disagreed with his statement. He examined Alexander's girlfriend's son in an intensive care unit and reported the child had subdural hemorrhages between the halves of his brain and the back of his brain. Also had retinal hemorrhages in both eyes. So that's not what happened. He didn't just fall off the couch. And obviously the legal team agreed with that because he was charged. Carmelo's going to prison for a long time. I doubt it. This may be white folks' St. Floyd moment. I am so if this wasn't happening in Texas, I'd have no faith at all. But Kingman Lee writes, I'm very optimistic that this kid's going to do any more than 2 or 3 years. I think he's going to get a manslaughter charge, and he's going to get 10 years max, and he'll be out in 2. That's what I think is going to happen. Shamefully, he stabbed another teenager, and you think it's a victory for justice? Disgusting. Obviously, Karmelo. I mean, this kid has nobody good around him. Who said? I mean, like, if you're Karmelo Anthony, you're not doing photo ops. You just, that is the dumbest thing you could have done in that situation. There is no scenario where I would be recommending to Karmelo Anthony to be doing photo ops with a guy that beat an infant. You know what I mean? But of course, now the judge is under question. Because why did you reduce the but? You know, I never want to hear white privilege again. Karmelo Anthony released after posting $250K bond. He didn't post $250K. It was $25K, and he didn't even post that. Someone else paid it for him. He's already got almost $500,000 raised. Austin Metcalf's admitted, the guy that did, took Austin Metcalf from us was let out of jail because of a DEI judge named Angela Tucker.
Now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench. I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Now, there's a lot of people who say, I don't see a big issue with him lowering his bail. He's not going to flee the country. I tend to agree with this, except Kyle Rittenhouse's bail was $2 million and they refused to lower it. He wasn't going to flee anything. This is, he was defending himself. He's a good kid. Now, again, we're going to get to Dominique in a second here, but this judge who ran as a Republican is getting roasted, mostly because people assume that she went light on him because of the same skin color. I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree with that's exactly what happened. And now she's going underground as she's blasted for letting him out of jail. I know that she's privated her X account. Tucker, who was elected as a Republican, has receiving a lot of negative feedback after reducing Anthony's bond, with several social media accounts sharing her image and information as they slam the bond reduction. Well, that's a choice that she made, and she has to stand by it, okay? People are allowed to be upset by that. At the same time, the judge has been... during Monday's hearing, Tucker said they never had security issues they faced with this case. Meanwhile, Anthony's father said they plan on using some of the donated fund to relocate to a new home after facing mean words. So if they're paying for the home they're in now, they don't actually need more money, right? If they're just going to change places they live, they don't need additional money unless they're going to keep both. The revelation comes after a spokesperson from the family said they can't leave their address after her address was leaked online, leading to all sorts of threats, which again, they didn't seem to have any evidence for, at least none that I've seen. This judge, I'm not a big fan. I don't care for, if we look up some of the information about this judge, Angela Tucker, I think it's pretty clear that she said, hey, this guy looks like me. I'm going to take it easy on him, because a lot of people are raised that, skin color, is everything. Here she is pushing for DEI.
I didn't see a female in my hometown that was an attorney until I was in law school, and went back to intern, and certainly not a person of color. And so now when we can have, summer interns come up and they are every race, creed, color, gender, but they can see someone that looks like them on the bench, I think that is so beneficial because it's representation. And when they look at me, young kids, law students, whoever it is, I want them to say, if she can do it, I can do it too.
I don't know. This is supposedly a Republican judge elected in 2020 who is a Christian, wife and mother, a graduate of Texas University. So no, she isn't a DEI or so-called activist judge. I don't know. Collins County District Judge Angela Tucker set her X account to private after reducing Karmelo Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. During the hearing, Tucker said they never had security issues that they have with this case. The judge, going private, it's not like they were a big Twitter person. I think it's very odd. And then we have this dork who's representing them trying to say it's the same thing as Kyle Rittenhouse.
I want to start off by
saying, who's representing him.
Real quick, that my comments are represented today by the Next Generation Action Network that have been working with the Anthony family from the advocacy standpoint. I'm not the Anthony family attorney.
Oh, okay.
Of course, the Next Generation Action Network is no stranger to this line of work. And we have been representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation. The Next Generation Action Network, since the past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding this situation and making sure that
you see, this guy's the epitome of backwards victimhood thought process.
Because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry involving with the case.
Oh, racism and bigotry.
I want to start off by saying that I appreciate the Deputy Chief, John, white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card.
You just
we
did.
Live it.
Oh
yes,
my God.
This case is a tragedy. Anytime a child is lost, we mourn as a community.
No, you don't.
Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf.
No, it doesn't.
But we do not race the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard.
No, they got heard. That guy's dead now. This is not a good look for your organization. As a Black celebrity client PR manager, you're doing them a disservice. We live the race card. Babble, babble, gimme, gimme. Why would anyone think a guy who takes another student's life was a hooligan? Unreal. So this is some random clout chaser just showed up to stand up for them. This guy is like Al Sharpton light, or heavy, actually. I mean, the fact that they're out here talking about, oh, it's the same thing as Kyle. It's crazy talk. The judge gave him a break because of the same skin color, in my opinion. The fact that they're taking selfies, pretending like he's the victim, is absolutely crazy to me. The fact that they're trying to compare this to Kyle is crazy. Here he has injury to a child, theft conviction, family attack incident. This guy is and these are arrests from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This is not like when this guy was a young kid. You're that guy that shook a baby to death, right? I mean, what is going on here? What is going on? I absolutely love that. This is nuts. Whoever's advising this kid that taking this picture was a good idea is just trying to get rich off him, and that's exactly what's going on here. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. Please do pick up your Mother's Day gift box over on Amazon, and if you get a chance, the second you get it, please take a picture, come back, scroll down, write a customer review. I need to have hundreds of reviews by the end of this week. It's definitely slow going. Verified purchases only. So please do help with that. And then don't forget the quartering, promo code the quartering over at MetaPCs, also linked in the description. We'll talk to you again real soon.